Well, that's not good. Oh, crap. Okay. Well, guys, it's appears to be leaking in my kitchen. Welcome back to the kitchen, everybody. I'm entering what I would call my cozy era. I mean, you know, it's cold outside and just, you know, it's like 4 degrees right now. And I just want to be inside where it's nice and warm and toasty. I've even got my wool socks on right now. They're great. They're super warm. Not sponsored, but, you know, could be, maybe. So yeah, I want to make some soup, and not just any soup. I'm going to be making my mom's leek and potato soup. It is a staple in my family. Unfortunately, I'm not as cool as them and don't have an entire garden to myself where I can just pull all these amazing fresh vegetables from, right? So I have to do this with store-bought. Oh, I know, gross, right? Anyways, that's what we're going to be making today. So let's grab all of our ingredients and dive right in. All right, we have all of our ingredients that we're going to be needing. We're going to need 3 fist-sized potatoes. These are approximately fist size, I'd say. Obviously, we're going to be needing some leeks, because what would be leek and potato soup without leeks? So we need leeks. You can also add in some celery, which we're going to do, and some carrots. Typically, the recipe calls for just like 1 little tiny stalk of celery and 1 little tiny carrot. I kind of want to up the veggie ante, if you will, and I want to add kind of double that. It still really isn't a whole lot of carrot and celery, but all this is going to get blended together anyways, so it won't really matter at the end of the day. We're also going to need some fresh basil. I've got a little bit of thyme here, and then some green onions later on. This is kind of optional. If you wanted to, you could make this like a loaded baked potato kind of soup, and you could do like bacon and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm just going to add in the green onion as like a topping garnish at the end. But yeah, that's kind of what we're working with. We're also gonna need some milk, some butter, some salt, some pepper, kind of the normal stuff. But yeah, step 1 is just a ton of chopping. So let's grab our knife and just get to work, because there's a lot of chopping to do here. The first of our mini vegetables that we're gonna cut up here is our potato, the humble potato. It almost sounds like you could do like a David Attenborough style documentary. Here we have the humble potato. It can be transformed into many different things. Unfortunately, today, it's in the hands of Dak. Our camera crew has been sworn to never interfere, and so these potatoes are going to meet a grisly yet delicious death. Honestly though, great potatoes. So it doesn't really matter what type of potato you use for this. You can use whatever you really want, honestly. I went for russets because they were cheap on what they had at Trader Joe's. So that's what I went with. So that's what we got. First thing you want to do is you want to chop these suckers up into basically 1 inch by 1 inch chunks, and that one's already running away from me. Honestly, quite rude. Basically, the start of this recipe is just a ton of chopping. Once you got them in chunks, toss them into your pot. I got mine in the sink next to me. Makes it pretty easy to just lose a chunk of potato really quickly. Those are probably a little bigger than 1 inch, but you know what? Screw it, it's fine. It's fine. Approximately 1 inch. It's okay. I actually really love potatoes. I think potatoes are one of the most versatile vegetables because honestly, if you think about it, we're making a soup with them right now, but you can make French fries, you can make gnocchi, you can make quite literally like 5 bajillion things out of potatoes. Maybe I need to just start like an entire potato series and we just like, you know, it's like I'm a painter. Dax in his potato era. Maybe that's what we need to just go for, is just a ton of, I double cut that, whoops. A ton of potato recipes. I feel like that could actually be a lot of fun. I'd love to learn how to do like homemade gnocchi at some point, but I don't know how hard that is. And knowing me, I would probably mess it up. So maybe not. We don't do that. As always, practice safe knife skills. Do not slice yourself. We are an anti-ER trip club here, so no ER trips, please. Now, when it comes to our leeks, we do actually want a specific amount, not just like 3 fist size, you know, nice fist as a measurement. We want 3 cups worth. So this is 2.5 cups here. I think last time it took me 3 of these, 2 and a bit maybe, to get to 3 cups. So we're gonna start just by chopping these up. I can't remember how I actually chopped these up last time. I think I literally just did little rounds and then just diced those. I just stabbed myself. Ow. Okay, positive knife safety skills. Dak, pay the attention. Something I love about this recipe is it is just so easy to make, and it's actually really cheap. I think all of my ingredients together for everything for this recipe was like maybe $15. And if you're like my parents and you have like a garden and stuff, it can be even cheaper because literally you can grow most of this at home. Carrots, super easy to grow at home. Celery, pretty easy to grow at home. Potatoes, honestly pretty easy to grow at home. And if you just, even if you have small potatoes, you can just make, you know, big potatoes out of the small potatoes. You just add more potatoes. Potato in, potato out, you know? Potato, potato. I guess you can't really do the milk at home, you'd have to have a cow. Which some people have cows, you never know. Maybe you got a whole ass farm, I don't know. I don't know you, I don't know your life. Okay, this is probably more than plenty. Squish. All right, there's our, well, that's 2.5. We're just gonna add all this because we needed 3, so yeah. Let's dump all this into here. Should I skin my carrots? Maybe. Will I? Absolutely not. That takes way too much time. Why would I do that? We're just gonna chop these suckers and dice them. I don't know all the proper kitchen terms. I'm not a kitchen guy. I am just a self-taught menace of culinary arts. Again, all this doesn't need to be chopped super finely. We're gonna be blending all of this up later. But for now, you just wanna dice it up, chop it up, whatever the proper terminology is. And again, the original recipe calls for 1 celery stalk and 1 carrot. I'm doing 2, simply because I wanna up the veggie ante, you know? You placed your bet, you anteed, I'm calling. Put your carrots where your mouth is. Which I guess that is actually the plan later. We're literally gonna put our carrots where our mouth is. Last but certainly not least, we have our celery, which we need to also get chopped up here. Like I said in the beginning, this is just a lot of chopping vegetables in the beginning. There's not a lot else happening. It's a lot of knife work, a lot of chopping, which honestly can go pretty quickly. If you're cool and not me and you actually have like positive, really good knife skills, I don't know why I always say positive, you have good knife skills. All right, now that we have all of our beautiful vegetables in here, they're looking pretty good. Oh, I'm spilling stuff. Now that we have all of our vegetables in here, we are going to be doing 2 different things. First and foremost, we are going to toss this onto medium heat on the stove behind me here, and we are going to add in 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. The other thing I'm gonna be doing is adding in 4 tablespoons of butter. One thing I really love about this recipe is you can actually make this completely vegan, which is really cool, and it's super tasty. So I'm using this like organic vegan butter, and later in the recipe it calls for stock or water. We're gonna be using water instead of stock. You could also use like a vegetable stock if you wanted to. And then later on, when it asks for milk, you can also substitute that as well. So, beautiful thing here, this can be completely vegan as well, which is really awesome. Now, once we throw this onto the stove behind me, we are going to stir this all. Basically, it's like 5 minutes on medium heat. Basically, we just wanna make sure the butter gets melted and kind of gets coated on everything. Once that's done, we're gonna add our water over the top, and then we're going to reduce and let it simmer on low for about 20 to 30 minutes. We may need to add a little bit extra stock or water, whatever you're using at some point, but we'll just check on it, make sure there's just some sort of like liquid in the bottom that's helping kind of like steam everything. So yeah, let's add in our salt there and our butter. That's most of it. Okay, perfect. Whew, butter. All right, let's throw this bad boy. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give it a mix here. Kind of try to get my butter to the bottom. Woo! There we go. Perfect. Okay, now that I've tossed the vegetables all over my counter, let's get this onto the stove. Like I said before, we're going to turn this onto medium heat here for about 5 minutes. And basically, we are just looking to make sure that this actually gets like fully coated in the butter and whatnot. Nothing too crazy. Let's get this all mixed up here. Well, that is sizzling quickly already. We just want to get this all coated. Perfect. That's looking pretty good. Oh, there's our giant block of butter. Oh, goodness. I think our big clump of butter has since disappeared. Now comes the next step. We're going to take our 1/2 cup of water. We're gonna pour it over everything. We just pour this all over here. Again, you can do this with stock, vegetable, meat broth, whatever you wanna do. And then we are going to turn down our temperature. We're gonna set it down to pretty much low. My oven has low .2, so we're gonna go on the dot, which I guess would be 1. And then we're gonna cover this and come back in 20 to 30 minutes. Alrighty, our potatoes are nice and tender. The steam. Okay, cool. Potatoes are nice and tender. We can set our lid aside. Now comes the fun bits. Now that we have the potato mixture ready to go here and ready to be blended, we need to add in 3 cups of milk. Now, again, if you want to make this vegan, you can use an alternate kind of milk. I just have some reduced fat milk here. So we got our measuring cup. We need 3 cups. So let's go. There is 2. All right, there we go. There is our milk added. Now comes the fun part and my favorite part. We get to plug in our immersion blender. Yes. We should probably do a hot pad because this is pretty toasty. So and you blend. That's pretty much all there is to it. You just blend, blend, blend until you can't blend anymore, until it's smooth. So let's get this guy in here and... Ah! Don't do that. Don't pull your immersion blender out. It's gonna splatter everywhere. I am so lucky it didn't just go all over me. Oh my God. This is going... I just said don't do it. Dak. This is gonna go very poor. Ow, that splattered. With our soup all blended and ready to go, we only have a couple things left to do. We have to add some basil and some thyme and some black pepper. Now you can choose to not do this. I choose to do it. Why not add a few herbs in there as well, you know? So with the basil, I'm gonna do this 2 ways. So I'm gonna add just like a couple leaves of basil just like straight in, and I will like kind of blend these up in there. I've never really used thyme before, I guess, to be honest with you. I don't really know if I should blend the thyme in or if I should like leave it. Do I strip this off of the little like things? I don't know if this is how you're gonna do. I'm just gonna do this. I think you just like take the little leaves off the little stems. I don't know. Someone comment below if I'm doing this completely wrong or if I'm just like an idiot. I could be. Am I just like a silly guy for this? And then we will blend this together and get some black pepper into the party as well. Again, this is all just like to taste. I like black pepper, so we're gonna add a little bit in there. Boom. Okay, let's get this blended up. All right, we got our bowl here. Something else that we can do as well with our bowl is if you want to make this more like loaded potato-y, you can add some cheese, which I'm definitely going to do, and you can add some green onion, which I'm also going to do. The green onion is more of a garnish than anything else. I'm not going to put it directly into the soup because it's a lot stronger of a flavor, and it's probably going to overpower the leeks and potatoes. Not to say leeks and potatoes don't have good flavor, they're just not a very strong flavor. So if you add something like green onion to it and you blend it in there, it is going to kind of overpower the leek and potato flavors that you already have in there. So be mindful when you're doing that. Let's get these green onions all chopped up here. There we go. Now I do really hate to do this and say this because there really is no right and wrong to cooking something like this. A lot of it's down to personal preference, but I will say when it comes to your cheese selection, there is a right choice and there is a wrong choice. And the right choice is, shout out my Pacific Northwest roots, we're using Tillamook. That's the best cheese there is for this. Just some cheddar, and we are going to get this shredded here so we can add this in. It is the best soup cheese, and I'm not really gonna say a whole lot more on that matter because I'm right and you're wrong, and I'm just so sorry. Like, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. That's totally fine, totally valid, but it's a wrong opinion if it's not Tillamook. I'm so sorry. That's the way this show works. If you want to tell me how wrong I am, just drop it in the comments below. I will read all of them and probably cry at night when you tell me how wrong I am because I'm a big softie who has really big feelings. So if you want to make me cry, tell me I'm wrong. All right, I think it's time that we stop BSing and we just dish up a bowl here. So let's take our bowl. I'm just gonna move this up here because God knows I'd spill it otherwise. And we just get a nice, big old healthy ladle. Look how well that's nice thick soup. Look how well that sticks to the spoon. Like, that's solid. Oh yeah, and that doesn't even have cheese in it yet. That's just nice and thick. That's what you want on those cozy winter nights when it's like, oh, I just spilled. When it's -4 out and you just need a nice hearty bowl of really good soup. This is what you should be reaching for. This is what you should be making. We are now going to add in a nice big healthy helping of cheese in here. There we go. First time I made this, I did do like a bunch of bacon and stuff to make this more of like a loaded potato, kind of like leek and potato soup. It was tasty, I enjoyed the bacon in there, but it was just a process to like cook that much bacon, and honestly made a disaster in my kitchen. So if you feel like making a disaster of your kitchen, add bacon. Also, of course, if you're trying to make this like vegan, don't add bacon. You could add vegan bacon, I guess. That does exist, that is a thing. We're going to add in some green onion just on top as a nice little garnish. And there we go. We have a beautiful, delicious bowl of leek and potato soup. Let's see how it tastes. Let's get a big old healthy spoonful here. Get a little bit less green onion on there. Oh, that is very good. That is so tasty. And honestly, just like a little bit of green onion. Oh, we got the stringiness of the cheese in there now. Just a little bit of green onion there really helps. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, this is incredible. Now, something that would pair really, really well with this that I have not ventured into yet, that I really probably should ask my brother-in-law to help me with, a fresh sourdough loaf. I'd go bomb with this. That would honestly go bomb with this. I have like non-fresh sourdough. I have just like, you know, a slice of sourdough. Let's just get a slice of sourdough just for dipping. There we go. I got a sourdough heel. I think fresh loaf of sourdough would do, you know, a whole lot better. But we have a little bit of sourdough, so let's just see how this tastes. A little bit of dipping bread. So good. Okay, so yeah, there we go. That's how you make a very delicious leek and potato soup. Hit me up if you guys happen to make this at all. Let me know. I'd love to see your guys' attempts. Tag me on social media. And yeah, I guess that's probably going to do it for this episode of the cooking show. Thank you for being here, and I hope you stay nice and warm and cozy out there and eat more soup. That's my resolution. See ya. It really is a delicious soup. I mean, honestly, it's incredibly tasty. It's just super good, you know. 10 out of 10.